Hi, car friends. I've on my venture through California and Los Angeles area. I've now headed a little south to Costa Mesa. Is it Costa Mesa? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a spur of the moment thing because Patrick Long recommended me to visit European Collectibles, and fortunately I ran into Chris, who was running the show, and he was kind enough to open the door, even though I didn't have an appointment. And now we're looking at cars. Thank you, Chris. Really nice of you.
You're welcome.
We just had a little chat off camera, and you're obviously a car guy. You worked here for 100 years.
29.
29 almost.
Who's counting?
Yeah. And that must have given you access to such an array of amazing cars that, you know, how can you keep track?
Do inventory every week, so that helps. But yeah, the cars come and they go. So we go through about 15 to 20 cars a month, and then we also do service and restoration.
Yeah, you kind of showed me that as well. It started with just being buying and selling, but then people come back and they have a flat tire or a scratch or a bump, and then you do that as well. Could you explain to me the amount of things that you do?
Buying and selling is our main business. So we're a classic car dealership. We've been in business since 1988. And then above and beyond, we have a full service facility to be able to service any car prior to putting it up for sale. Mm-hmm. So whether it needs paint work or mechanical work or undercarriage work or rust repair, we're able to do any and all.
Chris, I just have a little extra question. It's more for my own vanity, really, but since you have your fingers in the matter every day, a 356 with Rudge wheels, is it an add-on, or does the car have to come with it? Or do you see it as an upgrade or a degradation, or what's the current etiquette on Rudge wheels?
Rudge wheels were a limited production, so just like the 300 SL, you could have special ordered Rudge wheels. Okay. So just depending upon if the car came with it or not, very few cars did. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people did remove the wheels depending upon what happened to the splines, because you have to have good splines. There are also aftermarket wheels that are being done in Germany, but you have to bolt them onto drums, and if you can't get the measurements right, they don't run true. So you got to be worried about that as well. Okay. But as far as Rudge wheels, we do deal with them, and we've put many sets on cars over the years. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. But do you find it like a little extra, or is it a little like, oh no? What do you feel about it?
I mean, people love them. It finishes the car and gives it a totally different look. Yeah. So
more racy, sporty?
It's in demand, and it just gives it a finishing touch, by far.
Would you say it's the same philosophy when it comes to a 300 SL Flügeltür, because you see them on and you see them off, or is
300 SL with Rudge wheels, that's the top.
Yeah, isn't it?
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
You're saying all the right things.
Ironically, Rudge wheels for a 300 are double. So you're talking about 150,000 versus give or take 60 or 70.
Yeah. Okay, but that was kind of in the core of my question. I thought maybe it was a little bit the same here with the 356s, but it's not.
No.
Right. Thank you for clarifying. We get wiser every day. There could have been a couple of brands that I don't see. You're definitely leaning towards Porsche.
We've been predominantly Porsche for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm. But there's a beautiful HF Lancia Fulvia rally car right over there. And I mean, do you do Ferraris?
Oh, we do.
Mm-hmm. Lotus, MGs, Morgans?
When I started out working for the company almost 30 years ago, we were primarily British.
Okay.
So Jaguar was the main mark, XKs, XKEs, had about 40 of those on the lot. And then above and beyond did MGs, Triumphs, Aston Martins, and a few Porsches on the lot. Mm. And over time, my specialty was Porsche. So we moved from British cars to primarily air-cooled Porsche.
I mean, there's a huge Porsche scene here, and it's been the driver for my week's stay here, because I meet practically only Porsche aficionados. That's a grand scene. So, of course, from a business perspective, it makes sense. Now, you said E-Types. May I just, take a little detour, because I was just at this big trade show in Bologna a month ago, and I talked to a gentleman from Hamburg who does auctions, and he said that these E-Types are just standing still. He said, we have 10 Mark I E-Type Roadsters. Nobody's asking. They're too expensive. The guys who are fascinated by them are dead. Mm-hmm. Is that your take?
The market's definitely changed on Jaguars, 100%, from XKs to XKEs. Yeah. We do have an XKE in right now, and it's listed for $200,000. I'm talking to 3 different clients on it right now. So you never know. It's just what somebody's looking for, and the overall condition, and obviously price.
Yeah, but we seem to tag along together with this idea that Porsches are just more practical as drivers' cars.
More reliable and definitely more sought after, in my opinion. But
where do you see the market heading, Chris? What's I know it's like a cliche. What's the next big thing? But where's it going?
If we all had the crystal ball, I mean, we have a marque that still is building race cars. They're very competitive. They're still winning. We're still manufacturing cars as well, and most of my clients don't have one, they have 4 or 5. So from having a Cayenne to a newer 911 Turbo, the wife driving a Macan or whatever the case may be. So it's a cult following, if you will. But to answer your question of where the market's going to go, it's very slow when it goes up or down. So it's not like the stock market where you could lose half of your...
Not as volatile now.
Yeah, you're not going to lose half the value overnight. So whether it creeps up or down 2 or 3% a year, I can't tell you what direction we're going.
No. There's a reason for me asking, because I'm following my own little secret agenda, because for years it's been so that, the narrative has been that the old cars are going to die when the old mechanics die. But I see lots of young guys. I see lots of young guys working wooden hammers on sandbags and English wheels and drawing tin and fiddling with Kugelfischer injectors. I mean, what's your take? You see only, is it like a Toto concert here with gray-haired gentlemen, or do you see younger guys coming in?
I mean, my enjoyment is when somebody comes in a 991 or a 992 and they have never had a classic car. So I enjoy going through the process and educating them and actually putting them in the driver's seat. And when they drive a 356 or a 911, they're amazed how well they drive, depending upon what car they get into. So I just came back from an event over the weekend. It was Palms to Pines. It was our 32nd annual. We normally have about 150 cars show up, but we had severe rain. So a lot of people didn't show up because of the weather, but regardless, one of my clients did come, and it's not his first 356, it's his third 356 I sold him. And when he was here, I was selling him a 9.
Go on, I'm just flipping the...
Yep. No problem. I was selling him a 993, and I drove him in a 356 for the first time, and he just giggled and said, "Oh my gosh, this is so much fun."
But how old was he?
He's 55.
All right, so a gentleman, not a boy.
Yeah. But, he still's got a kid in him, and he's enjoying himself and what have you. But, there's not many people below 30 that are buying cars of this, because you also got the price point.
Yeah, of course, it's a high entry level.
Yeah, my average car is $150,000, so not everybody's going to be able to do that.
Not going to come here.
But when you think about it, if you're going to go buy a new Porsche, you're $165,000 for a new 911 coupe.
With a depreciation curve.
100%.
Yeah.
So you're going to lose 25%, give or take, over a 3 to 5 year period. Porsches do hold their value very well, but still, it's going down, not up.
I had the privilege of speaking with Rod Emery just a couple of days ago, and his take on the thing was, if I take an old car with the charm of an old car, like a Speedster 356, but add better brakes, better engine, better gearbox, better steering, then I appeal to a younger guy who wants to play with his friends in more modern cars and not be dragging behind, but want to be up there with them, but still have the charm and the style and the pedigree of the golden age. Do you agree with that? Can you find yourself in that somehow?
Well, we're not doing what Rod does. We know Rod very well, and actually we sell him quite a few cars. But his whole thing is to re-erect a car that somebody wouldn't do, and restoring a car in general doesn't make sense.
No.
I mean, on average, it's $250,000 to build a car, and it's going to take a year and a half to do that. And usually you are over the delta of what the car's worth.
So it's a very narrow niche.
Yeah, it's usually a sentimental issue. If your dad had the car, or your brother had the car, and you want to go through and revive the car, and you're going to keep it for 10 years, and money doesn't matter.
No.
But in most cases, money does matter, so it's hard to go through the process.
European Collectibles. If I move over here and I have a little cash, this is where I would go. And that's my advice to our viewers, that if you're in the area, swing by, see all this wonderful, wonderful metal, and at a very, very high level. Thank you, Chris, for letting me come in, and thank you for talking to me.
100%.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Handshake.
Hey car friends, thank you for watching JP Group Club. This is our new YouTube channel. It's obviously sponsored by JP Group, and we're aiming to tickle you in all the right places with information and entertainment pertaining air-cooled cars from primarily Porsche and Volkswagen. Stay tuned, and we're going to take you through production. We're going to test products at the workshop. We're going to take you to interesting places, drive fascinating cars, and meet relevant people. Help me get this show on the road. Press the subscribe button and like and whatever you can. Share it with your friends, and we're going to make it fly. Thanks a lot for watching.